Home Assistant is a great tool for automating your home, and today I'm going to help you walk through the UI and how to use it. Once you get to the Home Assistant welcome screen, you'll greet with this page. We have Create My Smart Home, Upload Backup, and Home Assistant Cloud. So, because this is your first time, you'll click Create Smart Home, but next time you can either upload a backup or restore from Home Assistant Cloud. So we're going to click Create My Smart Home. Okay, now we're just going to create a user account. Okay, create account. Okay, so now you're going to put your home address here. This is really important because if you're doing automation saying when you get home or when you arrive next to your home, so if your home is quite big or something, you can put an area around your home, and so when you access that area, then you can have certain automations that go on. So I won't be leaking my home address, but on my actual one, I did put my actual home address. So I'm just going to put this just for now. Next. Okay, do you want to share any information with Home Assistant, like basic analytics and stuff like that? Otherwise, click next, and all set. Finish. Okay, so once you've set up Home Assistant, this is your main dashboard. So currently it's got very little in there because we've only just set it up. So, but the other thing, if you go into dashboards and you create a custom dashboard here, we'll just call this main. So basically, this is what I mainly use. So this is going to be my main dash where I have all my custom animations. So on this one, it will populate based on what's happening and what is being used. But I mainly use this one. So you can edit it as much as you like. So for example, you can put the stuff your little stuff up here. So say for example, when this is here, and you can make it pop up or remove once it's not valid anymore. So for example, if I go to my current one here, I've got all this stuff currently on the dashboard, but if I actually click edit dashboard, you can actually see all the stuff that's hidden. So all the stuff here is actually hidden, but you can't see it because it's not relevant at that time. And so only the stuff on here is relevant at that time. So yeah, so basically if we go back to this one, so you got the areas, living room, kitchen, and then bedroom devices. So if you look at my main one, so you can see I just got some favorites up here, and I've got 3 issues currently to repair, 26 updates, and all that stuff there. And this will populate based on what's happening on that day or what's happening through apps and stuff like that. Next, you've got the map. So this just shows you where all your zones are. So currently I just put it in Auckland. So if I had another zone up here, it would tell me where it is. So exactly, oh, this person is here. So if you have multiple people connected to your Home Assistant, it will show them where the location is exactly. The energy graph is next. So this is where you can set up grid connections, or you can just use a smart plug and just add it to the grid connection. So you can just add any smart plug here and it'll track the cost of the smart plug. So for example, I have 2 smart plugs here, and I just record them each day. So this is today, and this was yesterday, so it just shows you where you've used the most energy on that day. So at 9 o'clock, I woke up, and that's why I started using my computer, and then I went out for the day, and then I came back a bit later. So that's why that went up like that. And so I used 3.46 kilowatts for the day. The activity tab shows you everything that's happened inside of Home Assistant. So 11 minutes ago, we started Home Assistant, and then these are all the such as like everything that happens. So if I go to my active, so if I go to my main one, you can see I've got so many, and it's just updating all the time. So basically every time the state changes, then it will be updated inside the activity log. You can also filter it. So if you don't want so much clutter, you can always add a target and pick something. Anything, there's just so much to pick from, but let's just pick this. Let's pick this person, for example. So if I go back to, we can go this week and see, we can see that this person started streaming, then they went offline, started streaming. But yeah, it updates every single time. That's a state change or attribute changes of any type. The history tab is to drill down into more different things. So if I just go back to, let's just say sun, so you can see, for example, the sun's next moon, and then they had the sun's next moon. So that it changed from 1:07 a.m. to 1:28 a.m. So, but that's probably not a good example. I'll get you a better example. So if let's just click this one here. So for example, you can see it was unavailable because it was turned off. My PC was turned off, and then it was asked active all the way up to there. So every time the state changes, and so when you go to the history, oh, here's a good one. So if I go to this month, see offline streaming, offline streaming, offline streaming, offline streaming, streaming. So you can drill down to see what the history of that sensor was. Media tab. So it's basically anything that you have a media source can show up in this tab. So if you have any media, you could upload, you could play it from Home Assistant exactly. Radio browser, you can play all the different radio stations from across the world. And if you add extensions or automations and devices, you can see that it adds way more. So I've got Synology Photos, Xbox Game Media, Unify Protect. So as you keep adding more devices, then they will start to appear up in the media tab. To-do lists. So if you want to, for example, if you go here to the areas and zones and click zones, and then we'll create a new zone, and I'll just use a supermarket that I know is around this area. So I'm just going to move this to, where is it? It's down here. So there's a supermarket just over here. So if I make this quite small, and then like there, and then I name this supermarket, I can make an automation. So when I enter this area, that will send you my shopping list. So then I don't ever forget my shopping list, because the automation will automatically trigger once I enter the zone. And so when I'm in to-do list, I'll say, yep, I want some milk, and I want some bread. And if I click up here, I go to more info. Oh, it tells me I've added 2 things to the shopping list currently. So currently I've got 2 things on there I need to buy. And so this is just another sensor. So you'd copy this into your automations, and then that's how you would recognize that, oh, I got 2 things on my shopping list. And then we can just tick them off when you're ready. And you can also delete them by clicking delete item. Okay. Home Assistant Cloud. So if you want to pay a yearly or monthly subscription, and you can sign up, and they give you Amazon Echo and Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant support. Also, if you want to use a third-party backup system, then you can set your Home Assistant backup to them, and they will save it for you. But I also recommend keeping it one locally yourself, just in case. Devices and services. So this is where all the devices live. So for any integrations that you want to use, there's so many to choose from. But yeah, you get the point. There is just so many to choose from, and they help you automate things. So you can put things into Home Assistant. So I've got so many here. So all the different ones you can pull in. So Alexa devices, Alexa media player. So we can talk to talk to Alexa, or it can talk to us via. So I'm using automation, so you can set the next timer and next alarm, and it will tell you. But if I go to my bedroom, so I'm using it for music playback. So every day at 8:30 a.m., the Amazon Alexa starts playing music through the Spotify Plus integration. But that was another video, and for this is just a very basic overview of how Home Assistant just actually works. So basically, yeah, you just add the integration, and then sensors are added along here, and you can use these for automations. So let's go to the automations page. So here's all the automations I have currently. So when they run, something happens basically. So there's so many of them that your heart can die. Basically, you can design anything you like. So yeah. So when something starts watching on Plex, then it posts an automation to my Mastodon account, which is fine. And I've also got it over here. So this is why dashboards are so universal, and so this updates every second. So when something happens on your dashboard, for example, I just talked about the utility integration and Plex. I have it so when the state is +0 watching, this will pop up. So right now it's hidden, but when someone starts watching, it will pop up. So this dashboard always updates 24/7. It's always updating. So then you know you're only getting the stuff that you actually want on your dashboard. Okay. So we areas, labels, and zones. So you can label every device into a specific area. So you know, oh, that's my bedroom, and that's from my living room. So if you have such like door sensors, window sensors, anything like that, then you know where they're coming from. So if you have any problems, you know, oh, yep, that's in the bedroom. You can also label things, label sensors, attributes, anything types like that. And I just typed on the zones. So these are all my zones here. I've got ones for the Philippines, Australia, my work, home, and all that kind of stuff. Thread, I see I've got currently 3 border routers. So if you add things to these border routers, they will show up in the thread integration. And then we've got Bluetooth. So basically, if you want to add anything to the Bluetooth, so I've got 2 integrations right here, so I can use these based on things like that. So if I have a Bluetooth, so say my phone get close to these adapters, I can say, oh, I'm close to that, and I'm in that room, or such and such. Okay, so tags. If you tap an NSC tag, you can use it as a trigger in an automation. So if you have one next to your bedside table, for example, you tap it and then all the lights turn off. Or when you get up in the morning and you tap the NSC tag, it reads your calendar, such like that. Anything. Yeah, okay, and then we got next people. So all the people that can access your Home Assistant, or you can automate them based on, so if this person comes home, then do this. Otherwise, if this person comes home, do something different. So that's why we have all the different users for each different people that you're probably going to be in your house or going to interact with your house. So basically system, so you got the home information, so it's just basically tells you that's my home name, my region, and then basically my New Zealand dollars, currency, and everything like that. Updates, these are all the updates I currently have for my Home Assistant. So I've got Home Assistant Core, and all these things need updates. Oh well, I'll update them later. Repairs, so anything that's wrong, so anything that's getting deleted, so this is migrating. So because the Telegram notification station is getting migrated, it tells you that to make sure that any automations that you do have, you make sure you change them. And then I've got this automation that doesn't work currently. So apparently automation.close curtain is because there's an unknown device. So I've deleted a device or something, and it was part of that automation. So now that one can't run. And same for this one. This doesn't exist anymore. Notify.mobile app doesn't exist, so this automation can't run anymore. And that's basically, I haven't got around to fixing that yet. Logs, anything that is wrong with Home Assistant, it will be recorded right here. Analytics, we went through this at the start, but if you tick these when you set it up, then these will be on, otherwise they're turned off. AI tasks, so they can use generate AI to help you with tasks. So anything that you want help with, they can do that for you. Labs, so any new features that are in beta and stuff like that are in here. So if you click enable, that will enable the beta for that feature. Network, so basically this is how you can do the IPv4 and IPv6. You can also change the DNS server, change the IP address for it, and Home Assistant Cloud, so if you got a subscription, then they will give you a free subdomain. I don't actually use it because I use something else, but that's okay. They still give it to you, and it's nice just in case your subdomain goes down, because I've got a custom subdomain. But if that goes down, I can always use this, so I guess it's better than nothing. But I mainly use them for the backups feature. Okay, and then storage. Basically, this is what you got currently, storage, and then this is my network attached storage, so for backups and stuff like that. Okay. So now we're talking, so yeah, so in the backups tabs, you should be storing them in multiple different places. So my last successful backup was Fiverr, and it's stored in 5 locations. So I'm storing, so these are all my backups currently. So these are my automatic backups from system updates. and these are the app updates backups. So I'm storing it locally on a NAS, in Home Assistant Cloud, and then also in 2 Google Drive locations. So I have 5 different places to store them. And so if you install apps, you can use them. So list system, so it keeps 3 backups on the system. The NAS that keeps 3 backups. Home Assistant Cloud keeps 1 backup. And then I've got 2 Google Drive accounts that keep 1 backup each. I'm not using Synology DSM because I'm actually just using it here instead. So this is a Synology NAS, but I'm using it as a locally SMB storage and not as in the extension, because I found that the extension doesn't work that well. But it is still added here because I'm using Synology DSM for other sensors relied on the just what NAS, but that's okay. And then anytime you want to create a new backup, so for example, if you want to create a new backup, click Set Up Backups, and then this is your emergency backup key. You can also download the emergency kit at any time, but if you forget it or lose it, you can click it right here, and you can download it or show the encryption key for it. So if we click Next, and we just click, yep, we're going to do everything. So now that backed up, so that was the last successful backup in 4 seconds. Next automated scheduled backup was tomorrow at 5:32 a.m. So if you want to do a manual backup for any reason, you can just click backup now. And we do a manual backup. Home Assistant settings, click next. You can give it a name, all locations, yep. And so it just created another backup. So now we've got 1 automatic backup and 1 manual backup. And then in the hardware tab, just basically telling you what the processor is doing and how much memory you're using. So currently using 0% of the CPU, and we're using 3.9 gigs out of the 29 gigs, which is pretty good. And that's basically it for this Home Assistant tutorial. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.